New Lady Gaga. Okay, now Lady Gaga was a huge trailblazer during the 2010s. She really trailblazed it and brought theatrical energy, theatrics, talent, musicianship, art, fashion, everything into music. Now we have Chappell Roan, who is giving people this idea because she's very theatrical, very big when it comes to her looks. You know, she does the whole drag look. She's very transformative, and it gives people that memory of Lady Gaga and what she represented in our days. Okay, so lots of comparisons between Chappell Roan and Lady Gaga. And Chappell Roan's very talented. She writes her own music, just like Lady Gaga, and has a good voice, just like Lady Gaga. And her alliances with fashion, with the LGBT and the drag community, her being like extra super theatrical and very close to the LGBT, that's also very similar with Lady Gaga, because Lady Gaga was a huge pioneer for the LGBT during her time and represented that kind of drag, industry and culture in terms of fashion and dressing up. So Chappell Roan is the closest to that, especially when you compare her to all the newer Gen Z artists. Chappell Roan is the most theatrical, has the most fashion, is the most transformative with her looks. So it really does bring in a similarity to Lady Gaga, and it can also represent the place that Lady Gaga held during her time. Chappell Roan is that girl for the newer girls of this time. You compare it to Olivia, Sabrina, Billie. She's the most theatrical, colored, LGBT, associated type of artist. So I can see, definitely based on the image, that they have this very strong comparison. However, I feel like when you get down into their music and even the way they move, this is where I'm like, almost, it's to me more of a superficial comparison. It's the same way I feel about Tyler and Rihanna. I feel like Tyler, comparison to Rihanna, is very superficial and only represents Rihanna's early days in terms of her image. Same thing with here. I feel like with Chappell Roan and Lady Gaga comparison, it's very image based. It doesn't go too far because, one, Lady Gaga's consistency with her music in terms of compared to Chappell Roan is much different. Chappell Roan's talking about putting out another album in 5 years. That's definitely not Lady Gaga move. Lady Gaga had like 3 albums in the first 4 years of her career. Out the gate. The albums were pushing. The passion for music was pushing constantly. Like,